my memory I will always see. Charlestown that I have loved so well, where we played half-ball by the old Wiggy's wall, watched movies at the Hippie under the elm.
Hi, welcome to Charlestown and Beyond. I'm your host, Kathy Cookie Giordano, and it's a pleasure to be with you again this week. This week's show I'm going to dedicate to Bunker Hill Day, of course. The time is upon us. And I'm going to talk in particular about the events that will be taking place during Charlestown Pride Week. Now, this year, we have 2 Pride Weeks because of the length of time between this weekend and June 17th. So it's 2 weeks away. But there are a lot of events taking place in this length of time. And I'm going to go right into an interview that I had recently with this year's Chief Marshal, John Jack Tchuk Towney, and he's going to tell you all about himself and the parade. So here's John.
My name is John Tchuk. I was chosen to be the Chief Marshal of the 2018 Bunker Hill Parade, which is a great honor because of all the times I've been watching parades all my life, and now that I'm going to be leading the parade is such an honor. And we had great help from my family, my 2 boys, 2 girls, and my wife helped me big time in raising a fundraiser. And that was a little bit hard to do when we ended up with 250 people. And now it's up to us to get a couple of bands, which I already have, 2 bands. I have a trolley for the people that can't walk the parade that have been with me for years. My father will be there. He's a WW2 veteran. He's 94 years old, so he can't walk with me. I'll have a number of people, mostly the buddy program when I went in the Marine Corps, because I served 2 tours in Vietnam between 1967 and 1969. I'll have Francis Carpenter, and I'll have my good friend's wife, Jimmy Gallagher, who passed away, and his wife Lois will be marching with me. And I'll have a lot of other people that I worked with through the years on the fire department. I put in 42 years in the fire department in Charlestown and all around the area. And I ended up in the North End of all places. And I was promoted lieutenant and then captain, and I retired as a captain in 2012. And it was a great family thing, living with these guys. We have 2 families. And it never stops. You know everybody in the town now. And once we get the parade started, it'll be a long walk for people, but I hope it's a nice day and it's not too hot so we can get to the end. And the week before, leading up to the parade, there's different events. There's trivia down the nights, then there's Eden Street block party with movies. Then there is time down the nights Friday night, which will honor me as the Chief Marshal.
Now that's John. And if the name rings a bell with you, Tchuk, he's got 2 sons who are very famous hockey stars in the National Hockey League. And that's about as much as I know about sports, but I know the name, and I know that they benefited from the Charlestown Hockey organization in Charlestown. And now don't forget to, if you can, get down to the night before banquet on Friday evening and honor Jack and have a great time. So do that. I was walking around town recently, and it is getting spruced up for the holiday, and I even saw the beginning of filling potholes along Main Street yesterday when I was driving through. So that's always a good thing. But I was asked to remind the business people, if you have a little bit of land around your business, would you please clean it up? Some people noticed a little bit of this and that and bushes around, especially Thompson Square, and they would appreciate it if you would clean it up before all the festivities began, and thank you for that. Well, I'm bringing in a townie that knows all about the Bunker Hill Day Parade, and I asked him to go down to the beginning of the parade in Hay Square, where he grew up in that area and watched many a parade. Here's David Flanagan.
Hi, this is David Flanagan. Happy Bunker Hill Day. As you know, the parade will be coming soon. This year it's on June 10th, and I look forward to seeing many of you along the parade route, if possible. Many of you know that the Bunker Hill Day Parade starts here in the Hay Square area. This is where the parade participants line up under the tutelage of the parade committee, and every year, depending on the size of the parade, in the last few years we've had some wonderful parades, as we have in the past. Parade participants are so numerous that they also have to form down inside the Navy Yard. There's just not enough room for them to form here in the parade. Over the years, I've watched many of the parades, many of you have, and I've stood at different places along the parade to watch the parade. I'm sure you have your favorite place for watching the parade. When I was younger, I watched the parade from this area, Hay Square area, because I grew up here. As a matter of fact, my mother has a picture of me when I was about 2 years old, handing me to former Mayor Hines during the parade route. So I have a special identity with the parade. Over the years, thousands of people have walked in the parade. Many elected officials, including JFK, when he first ran for Congress. JFK was marched in the parade. We also have had significant number of elected officials over the years, military personnel, police and fire personnel, beauty pageant winners have been in the parade. Just about every potential organization has participated in the parade. One of my best memories of Bunker Hill Day was that every year we would go to the family shoe store on Bunker Hill Street, and we'd see Maya there, who was a proprietor, and we would get our PF Flyer sneakers, and we would wear our matching pedal pusher or clam digger pants with striped polo shirts to celebrate. We had the red, white, and blue motif going on. Another thing that I remember of the 60s was every year Ramon Subiano, one of the most decorated military personnel in the United States Army, would be in the parade, decked out. He'd be in a Jeep and he'd be decked out with all the medals of valor and honor that he had. There have been so many different memories of the parade. I've watched the parade like many of you from many different routes.
Well, there's David. And this reminds me, he was talking about proper attire. If you really want to get proper attire for this year's event, you have to visit John Kelly. He has the best selection of t-shirts, sweatshirts, whatever you're looking for. And you can find him outside the store there at the corner of Monument Street and Bunker Hill Street. I tried to reach John to get his hours, but I couldn't, so I'm sorry about that. But when you're driving by Bunker Hill Street, he'll probably be there, especially next week where it's Pride Week. So stop by there. I mean, there's another t-shirt place that comes in from Dorchester, and they situate themselves down at Thompson Square during the parade. And they're great people, but they're from Dorchester. Let's support our neighbor, John Kelly. He's a great guy. He does a lot for the neighborhood. And let's give him a help, and you are going to be the one to benefit from it, from the beautiful and well-made t-shirts and sweatshirts. So go see John. Well, I was thinking about the parade itself and the protection we get from the Boston Police Department. Not that we need protection. I don't think there's been any trouble for many a year. I shouldn't say that and jinx it. But I want to introduce you to our community service officer here in Charlestown, Station 15, and it's Sergeant John Doris. Here's John.
Hi, I'm Sergeant John Doris from the Boston Police Department. I'm the Community Service Officer for District 1 and District 15 in Charlestown. I have long roots in Charlestown. Both my parents are from Charlestown, born and bred. And all of my cousins and aunts and uncles and everybody lives over here. And I've been going to the Bunker Hill Day Parade now for almost 50 years. And it's a very enjoyable event. So I want to talk to you about some of the things that come up with the Bunker Hill Day Parade for the residents of Charlestown and some of us that like to come back and visit. Sunscreen is always very important, and it can be a very hot day during the Bunker Hill Day Parade. If you come into Charlestown, get here early so you can find a parking spot. If you're still a resident here, make sure you move your cars off all the streets that need to be moved off. As always, there is no public drinking during the parade, and it's generally, to me, the best day of the year. I enjoy it every day, whether I come here as a spectator or a police officer, or last year I marched in the parade. So in this year, as in other years, we have Charlestown Pride Week. We have the Chad March on Monday. It's a good event. It benefits a worthy cause, and we enjoy it very much, and we enjoy all the wonderful events that occur during the week. So, like I wish you get the best Charlestown week that there is, and I'll be over here all week enjoying myself and reconnecting with my family over here and enjoy.
That's John. It's the first time I met him, and what a nice guy. His parents come from Charlestown, as he said. You know, the people I interviewed today, they are either townies or they're sons of townies. So it's a very townie-oriented program tonight. But it's a Charlestown-oriented program, and they're just bringing memories of the past in with it, so you'd get a better taste of what's going on. And speaking of that, what's going on, you know, the police will be kept busy all week with every single event that's going to be taking place. And let me give you a quick rundown. It will start tomorrow. There's an open house at the Kennedy Center at 10 a.m., and they're going to be showcasing the new children's classrooms. So that would be great to go down there and see that. And they're also at the same time going to honor Senator Sal DiDomenico by placing a plaque in the building, and thanks to all he does for the Kennedy Center. I think that's very, very, very nice. So that's tomorrow. Now on Sunday, we're going to have Touch a Truck down at the parking lot at Bunker Hill Community College. If you've never been to that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a kid or if you're an adult. If you're a kid of any age is going to love Touch a Truck. You can go down there and see every kind of vehicle available, and the kids can climb on it. If you're able, you can climb on it too and just see what it's like. They have street sweepers, they'll have buses, they'll have fire engines, you name it, it will be down there. So that's in the parking lot at the college, and that will start at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. It runs a few hours. And then on Monday night, as the sergeant just said, it's the Chad March. Now that's an anti-drug march, and it starts at Hayes Square, and it continues down to the community center on Medford Street, where they'll have a couple of speakers, and then they'll give you a feed. So that's always enjoyable. And then on Tuesday night is I think it's the 4th annual Peter Looney Night down at Peters Park on Union Street. And that's usually a lot of fun. And I found out this week that the former sergeant in Charlestown that was the community relations sergeant, and he's now a lieutenant, Tom Lima, very good friend of Peter, will be coming back to sing the national anthem, and that's a treat. He has a beautiful voice. So Wednesday at 11 a.m. they're having the elderly luncheon down at the Knights of Columbus, and at night at the Knights, the Bunker Hill Associates are having their Family Feud night, and I understand that that is sold out, but you can go down and pay a fee and go in and watch them. It's always very enjoyable. So that brings us up to Thursday. Now Thursday night is the Mayor's Night, and again they call it Peter Looney Night, and it's down at the Eden Street Park. I think the theme this year is going to be Irish music, and that's very enjoyable, and that starts at 7 p.m. And then we come up to Friday, and that's the night before banquet, and we'll be honoring the Chief Marshal, John Kachuk. And then on Saturday, there's a bunch of things going on. The Doll Carriage Parade down in the training field starts at 10 a.m. The Chamber of Commerce Fair starts at 10 a.m., and that will be at the Bunker Hill Mall. And the concert up in the monument, the Bunker Hill Monument, is going to start at 6 p.m. And then that brings us up to Sunday, June 10th. That's the day of the parade. But first, always, is the Bunker Hill Associates Breakfast down at the Knights of Columbus, and that starts at 8:30. You need a ticket to get into that because it is just packed. And then, of course, the parade will kick off at 12:30 down at Hayes Square. And then that following week now, this is an open week. We don't usually have this week between the parade and the actual holiday, the following Sunday, June 17th. So on Tuesday night, Tom McDonald, the director of Harvest on Vine Food Pantry, invites everybody to their first annual Pride Week cookout. It's going to be down there and on Vine Street, Corey Street, Decatur Street area, right behind the old St. Catherine's Church. And they really want the kids to come and enjoy this. We're going to have Wally, the mascot of the Red Sox, is going to be there. We'll have a fire truck, a police vehicle. The Shriners, who will be in the parade, are bringing a miniature fire engine for the kids to have a ride. We'll have face painting and balloons for the kids. They make those balloon figures for the kids. And the Boston Police Department are giving us their ice cream truck for dessert. There'll be hamburgers, hot dogs, and whatever else. So, it's going to be a great evening for the kids. Come down and meet Wally and enjoy everything else. So that's Tuesday night. And Thursday night is Flag Day, and there'll be a ceremony up at Memorial Hall on Green Street where they will burn all old, worn-out American flags. It's quite a beautiful ceremony if you've never been to one. So that's at Memorial Hall, and I believe that starts at 6:30. But I'm pretty sure that this whole schedule will be included in this week's Patriot Bridge, so make sure you pick up a copy of that. And then on Sunday, June 17th, will be the patriotic exercises that begins at St. Francis de Sales Church, and they march down to the Bunker Hill Monument, and then they have a speaker, and that's very, very, very appropriate for the celebrating of the actual day of the battle, June 17th. So that's that. So let me go into my man on the street, and I'm not going to say anything else, but here's Sal Geritani.
Well, here we are at the end of the Bunker Hill Day Parade. It winds down here, and then it just disperses. And we have heavy crowds down here because people like to be at the end of the parade as well as the beginning. And this is a nice little area. And I always remember here, you come down from the monument, the parade seems to last sometimes forever, depending on the temperature of the day. But the last 50 feet take about a half hour because everybody stops for the cable TV to do their interviews. So you have to stand there for 15 minutes, and then it's your turn to move, and then you move, and then you get into the camera, and then you move on. Parades are always different every year. It could be cold, it could be warm, it could be very rainy. It's been very rainy several times. I particularly like it when it's hot. I love hot. I add on to my little suntan, and it moves me. And every year I'm always with a different, usually a different politician. Sometimes I don't know who I'm with until I get here at the parade. And then I see who really needs me, and then I join in with them. Because I can't just watch the parade anymore. I must be part of it. I still think as I look over yonder at the Engine 50 firehouse, I remember 1981 when I was one of those people who took over the firehouse for a good month to keep them from closing the house and taking away the engine. And I remember we were big heroes in that 1981 parade. We had this antique fire truck, and we're walking like we're on top of the world. And it was like they needed to be playing like the Rocky theme behind us as we were marching through the parade. My earliest recollections of the parade, where it never goes by anymore, down by City Square and Old Station 15. My mother and father always took us down there because the police passed out the free hoodsies. And so all the kids always wanted to be near the free hoodsies. And so we would sneak in there a couple of times and get a couple of extra hoodsies. And I can remember I can remember that the ending was always important because that meant another parade had passed in history. I like the route it takes now. Last year they did that shortened route, and I thought that was okay. I don't know if, I haven't heard what the route is this year, but I know this is the ending. And I will have fun here at the ending.
Well, that's Sal. Don't you love his outfit? He's really into it. He's so patriotic. Well, that's it for this week, and it was a pleasure to bring you these great people and to inform you of what's going to go on at Pride Week. And I'm closing with a special gift from Paul Lane. I hope you enjoy it. Happy Bunker Hill Day, Charlestown.